Hello everyone, this is East Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. As you can see, we did not manage to stay in vaults this season, and that's all because of one match. That's something we'll talk about in just a bit. Naturally, we have to go through default defense like usual. It is water season, so I figured let's try running double dancers. Why not? We have nothing to lose except more lift. But overall on offense, we were using kind of a jank team. I don't know why I'm showing merges at this point. Probably know what merges we have on our units. But decided this week, we don't have very many solid options for carries during Astro season. I decided to run a team of Maria, Racing, Regan, and then Bjorn, Legendary Crown, and Safer, of course, is our bonus unit. Overall, of course, theoretically not a good team. Definitely struggled to a lot of units if it weren't for our most powerful unit, Bolt Tower. The chip damage is just too good. Able to get through Hardy Fighter, threats, and whatnot using our most powerful unit there. And well, here our opponent just corners Legendary Lilna, or Ride Lilna, because I designed our defense that way. I decided to change it out later on for other ridiculous shenanigans, but it doesn't really matter too much at the end of the day. So overall on offense, it was rough going. I did have several matches where we sacked one unit, either just because at that point it didn't matter what we did since we weren't going to be able to stay in vaults, but other times it was just goofs where we weren't paying attention to how our units are placed, how the enemy was going to move, so we just got units sniped down. But the one match that we did end up losing this season was indeed a double match. I like that 149 HP heal, by the way. Definitely fair and balanced. It was against one of the classic stall teams on the lava map where they have their fortress here and then they just have 4 armored units in the corner, kind of a deal. And so we definitely would have had a chance if we actually had competent units, which is of course the problem. Exact lethal, by the way, totally not rigged. Props if they damage Skelter, but I can't be entirely sure that they did. At the end of the day, though, there was an Ascended Heir who we really couldn't bait, so I had to snipe her down with Regan. And then there was also Saros and Brave Seliph running Mystic Boost. So basically the only way to take him out is to be able to attack him twice, break his Miracle, because otherwise Mystic Boost brings him back up above 25% HP, or do what I did and attack him in place so that his Miracle can't proc. So we were able to do that to take out those 3 units. Saros, we used Sather to have her hit end turn 1, so that Regan wouldn't get obliterated by her. Since Ascended Heir was up here and then Saros was here, we wouldn't be able to Canto out of Saros' threat range. And so everything is fine and dandy there. The problem was we had to deal with I believe it was Duo Lithune, could be wrong, as the weaponless rally unit on this spot, and then there was a near safe Brave Hector, far safe, a rearmed Robin, and then in the very top right corner was the healer free Lisa. And so we ended up setting it up so that we could have the healer Lisa take herself out by baiting with our Plumeria over the lava tile, and then we use Sather's T skill to have rearmed Robin hit and turn so that she wouldn't be able to attack. But at that point it didn't really matter because we just did not have the firepower to take out either rearmed Robin or Brave Hector. So both were running Hardy Fighter. Brave Hector had a Hardy Fighter, Sketchin, and rearmed Robin had Hardy Fighter Aegis. So I calced out turn 1 if it was possible for us to take out rearmed Robin. Not possible, we would have to have a special ready to go, or I think Jedi would have done it on Legendary Crown, but there's no way to charge it up in time on turn 1 without either leaving our other units around everyone else to die, and then we wouldn't be able to win anyways. Or just not having enough mobility to get there, because of course we have to break all the structures blocking the way. So we just got stalled out. Nothing we could do there. But overall, we got pretty decent matchups this week. Lots of straightforward matches where our opponent just blocked all their units in with structures, or basically close to it, so we could just snipe down a unit if we even have them charge into us and get absolutely nuked. Not too mind-blowing there. Our opponent here doing our classic probably Gale Force shenanigans, if I were to imagine. Seeing they have a few particular units on their team that are nice to Gale Force, but they're not really doing anything. They have access to all their duo and harmonized skills, but we keep memeing around with trap placements, and they decided to just leave, which I find very interesting because, of course, it's not mind-blowing how the AI is going to move here. They're just going to get a double attack from Odor, and of course he's only going to take out Legendary Minion because he will ask you're incredibly bulky when his weapon's actually procced. The moment his weapon isn't procced, aka there isn't an ally within 3 spaces, sorry, then he's basically equivalent to a Gen 1 mage in the Gen 1 era. Just a stat ball that basically doesn't hold up. So, seems about right. But at the end of the day, that's why we really need to actually come up with a competent offense team for Astro season. So we either have to A, get one of every Astro Mythic, or B, hyper-merge Astro Mythics like we did in late season, so we can play independent of a bonus unit and still score well. Or at least score enough to be able to reasonably save results consistently. I don't think we're ever going to get to that point anymore at this point. So that's unfortunate. But here, Ascended Fiorm totally doing her job, not even able to double Legendary Lilina of all units. So that's a rip for them. At least they recharged their Ice Mirrors, so that's nice and all. So of course, naturally, Ascended Fiorm once again not going to be able to double Legendary Zero, so Ice Mirror unprocs doesn't matter though because Bride Lilin is blue. Even though Ice Mirror wasn't ready, being blue is kind of a problem, especially when there's damage reduction and flame involved as well. Yeah, chances are we aren't going to survive there, and there's just Duma left, so not really much to happen here because it's Duma. We use safely here so that we get one turn. That gives them time to go after the easy structures, but because of their low mobility, they're only able to go for one. On that turn, Duma's Spell Breath working against them there because what's her name? Ascended through not able to double because she was below 100% HP. Also, I think she just had less attack as well, but rip to us. And here we have a Brave Dimitri team and a duo ask for 80 HP. Why are they running Fury 7? What? I'm actually confused by that. That does not make sense to me. I feel like if you're gonna have them tank, you don't want them chipping themselves down, unless I'm missing something here. So it looks like their grand strategy is, of course, to just hit end turn with Brave Dimitri, which honestly is not a horrible idea, except for the fact that we have this meme called Harsh Command Plus. That is the main weakness of Brave Dimitri against our team here. Our unit's not actually going after him. And we have ground orders there, so there goes Ascended Fiorm, not that it really matters. And of course they're gonna surrender here. They should not have lost any units in this matchup. There's nothing we can do to take out this guy. He just has too much HP. He has noontime for healing, even though it caps out based off of our unit's max HP, but he should not be dying here anytime soon. The only way we would have any sort of a chance to take him out is to use an AoE special with a unit that has enough defense to compete with his, but you know, at that point you're probably using your own Brave Dimitri with an AoE, which doesn't make any sense on Animus season because Elamine exists, so to pre-charge an AoE on a Brave Dimitri seems mildly suspicious. Here our opponent is just going to roll end turn because that is the meta strategy for trolling, and they have all the resources they need to get away with it. Except for the fact that, of course, we all know Odor's going first, it's not a surprise. That just means he can go after the enemy units there. Now they have to deal with Ride Lilna chillin' there, and they have no one who can take her out, so... Except Fallen Edelgard, because I forgot she was running Gale for that. But at this point, it's just a matter of whether we should take that one unit loss or not. Because they're just grabbing the easy structures, and Seifu picks up the kill to end the match. Here looks like we got some sort of probably mostly end turn, but they can initiate with Gale Force to take out some threats that might ruin their end turn shenanigans. Good choice of taking to dodge the AoEs. Of course, Ashera theoretically is vulnerable to melee units, but there's absolutely no way for anyone to snipe down Ashera at that point, so it doesn't matter. And at this point, we just have a bunch of memes. So you have the 50-50, which doesn't matter, so they correctly do go for that. Because either way, Ascended Fion was going... Or was that Ascended Fion? I'm pretty sure Ascended Fion was going down. And at this point again, Mirrorbliss is trailing because it's in the 7th slot. So, that's just GG. I've ever seen one. Let's take some time here. No real rush. But they definitely are taking their time here. Unfortunately for us, it's a quad churn, so Mirabel can't even get to attack. And that's a rip. And here you are, similar themes, double end churn and whatnot. This time around looks like their safety fence is going to go. Not that it really matters here. We definitely have very few techs in general against Rearmed Robin just because she's actually kind of fast. And with her built-in special acceleration from her special skills, she can run Hardy Fighter Aegis pretty darn solid. Although this is a interesting way to approach her team, it works out, of course, because Duo Duma is tanky enough. Although questionable. Don't know. I highly doubt they ran the daily damage calc on that one. But that could have ended horribly if our units were slightly stronger. But at this point, our units are approaching. It's not like we can do anything. They can just leave their units in the save units range, and they'll probably be fine. Duo Duma is the only unit that could be threatened here. So they correctly take out Legendary Lilina before she causes trouble for Duo Duma. But of course they can also heal as well, so I don't feel like that was the best chance for us to score a kill, and of course there really wasn't much of a chance there in the first place. So that will be a GG. And here we are for the final team here. Looks like we got Erica. You don't see her too much nowadays, but of course the arcane weapons available can be pretty decent. Have ascended her Bride Fiorm for some isolation, which will work pretty well against this team. Looks like they're just going to hit end turn, pretty reasonable. Special acceleration from Nas was fine. Super nice. Haley gonna go down. Decent amount of damage, honestly, but of course not enough damage. Odor actually doing a chunk as well, but not enough again. If our Bride Milna got to attack, probably Erica would have gotten taken out. But at this point, they can heal up to guarantee that Hex Trap doesn't work against them. Well played. And of course, Duma was not going to be able to take her out at all. And once again, not a surprise, Mirabel is the last. And now they're just healing up farm SP capital. I remember at one point Ikaruzu would really DM opponents and just maximize the amount of SP we could gain on the healers and whatnot by continuously taking damage and healing it back. So silly. Well, with that is all the replays for this week. Not too big of a surprise that, of course, we did okay at the start of the season and not so much towards the end, because that's just the general correlation with lift. The more lift you have, generally speaking, the better player you are. We're very roughly speaking, because of course you can still get away with pretty bad offense and still get a reasonable amount of lift, but to consistently stay involved, you do have to be a decent player. You don't have to be super good, because escape ladder exists. But we don't use that, of course. We don't know what that structure is. You just need to be able to win most offense matches, and for the most part in Astra Anima, that's pretty straightforward. Here though, we're deciding not to stay in Tier 21. We have this team that scores pretty darn strong, so we can do a bit of fishing and easily stay in tier 21. It's just the problem is next season our best bonus unit is either building up Bertram, which I'm not entirely inclined to do that. Absolutely max out Maria, the base infantry healer, or Suffer. So at the end of the day, I feel like chances are we're not going to be able to stay unless we build up Bertram, and I'm not really inclined to do that. So we're just going to drop back out again. Not getting very fortunate in bonuses, but what can you do? Arena Assault overall is fine. Got three 758s in our run. We mulliganed out 2, and then at that point we can't mulligan anymore for our tactical retreat, so we just gotta take all of the 758s. Feels bad, man. Anyways, we'll be back when the results drop in.